Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Film Freaks. I'm Jesse Galan.
And I'm Avi Flores.
And today we're going to get fantastical.
Yes, and beastie. And we're going to try and find it together.
So today we'll be discussing Fantastical Beasts and Where to Find Them, the new installment of the Potterverse,
Yes.
taking place back in time, so it's new but old.
Did we just coin something there? The Potterverse?
Right? Probably not. So,
yeah, let's get right into it, man. I've been looking forward to it because I'm a big fan of the Potterverse. Oh, snap. Yeah, I've watched all the films. What really intrigued me about this is that it was different from the Hogwarts and Harry and Hermione and all them. You know, this was different.
it's very American.
Yeah. That's what really intrigued me about this movie. So I was really looking forward to it because we're still in the same world, but it's a completely different story. So I was really looking forward to it, and I really enjoyed what they brought to me, although I thought it was going to be more like Where to Find Them and not so much Fantastical Beasts.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's kind of fresh for me. I wasn't a huge Potter fan, so I've only managed to watch, I think maybe 3, the first one and the last 2, or maybe the first one somewhere in the middle and the end, I can't remember.
Yep.
So I wasn't a huge fan of the Potter movies. I don't know, I just couldn't get into them personally. Nothing against them. They seem the ones that I did watch interesting enough. I just really didn't get involved with them. But this film, actually, I was really intrigued.
Right.
Believe it or not, there's less magic in this film, or at least the characters are willing to do more for themselves than having to rely on magic. So
Right.
that was something that I really enjoyed. Instead of having to use magic to bring something forth to them, like the Force, they physically went and grabbed it. So that was, I guess, one of the things that annoyed me in the Potter films, where they used the magic way too much.
Yeah.
With that being said, what'd you think about the visuals?
Visuals were good. I mean, I can't really say it was like bad or nothing like that. You know, it was typical Potter magic, fantastical, all that. It looked good. I mean, everything was believable, so to speak, and nothing CGI wise or whatever that they generated didn't look horrible. So yeah, I mean, it was they did a good job. So I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, it was definitely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, going back to the whole thing about not using a whole lot of magic, which then also led to not using a lot of visual effects. I mean, you have to use visuals to represent the 40s or the 30s or whatever time period it took place. But overall, I thought it was well balanced, and I mean, again, it wasn't like miraculous,
Right.
stunning visuals.
Right.
I give it a 4.
But it was solid.
But it was solid
Right.
enough for a 4.
So story wise, that's where I was a little misled with I think more than anything just the title, because it says Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and especially when the case opens up, only like 3 magical beasts escape, and it's not even a Where to Find Them story. It's like I have to put them back in the briefcase kind of story.
Right.
And then the story goes into this I forgot what they called it, but this black cloud tormented child soul thing, that there's one loose in New York and they have to find it, which, I mean, I guess that plays into Where to Find It. They have to discover who this kid is, where it's coming from, and then you have like the good guy, bad guy, police guy, who you're not sure who this guy is, and then you get the reveal at the end. Yeah,
thing.
he's looking for it also for his own personal gain. So the story overall, like, it was solid. Nothing good or bad. I just was a little misled by the title and what I thought the movie was going to be, but what I did get, I still enjoyed. So I give it a 3 because it was good. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Wow. I'm exactly in the same boat. I was slightly misled with the title as well as what the trailers that that we saw.
Right.
However, that did not affect the overall story. There was a
Exactly.
level of romance and comical moments, which I thought was a great balance. It wasn't too like romantic or goody two shoes or too much where it became a chick flick, but there was
Right.
enough elements and comical moments that just gave the story more oomph, I guess.
Yeah.
So overall, I too give it a 3.
Yeah. It was solid enough, and like we both said, we enjoyed what we got. And then
Finally,
yeah,
performances.
performances. Always good to get into story performances, and Fantastic Beasts was nothing bad. I mean, I loved Eddie Redmayne. He did a great job as what was his name, Schnickerbocker or
Scamander.
Schnitzer, whatever.
Scamander.
And then I didn't even realize that Ezra Miller was in this movie, and his performance as Credence was awesome. I loved his awkward, just this distraught, like sad being. So I was pleasantly surprised to see him in the movie, and he did great. I loved his role.
Right.
And then you have
Colin Farrell.
Graves. His character was awesome. I loved his like the policeman and detective wizard guy, like very determined. And you were kind of a shady character, and you're not sure exactly what his motive is. And then at the end, you get the reveal that it was actually the main villain, who they really didn't mention a lot. They just kind of briefly in the beginning, like in the intro, mentioned this dark wizard. So then you reveal that it's him at the end, and yeah, it was great. I mean, even Tina, his love interest, she little dorky, awkward moments that they had. It was just a good film, and then you have Kowalski, the baker guy, who I think
Don Jog.
yeah,
Yes,
having
absolutely.
him in there as human, and just giving you something other than the wizards and magical, like just this normal dude who wants to bake.
Right.
I thought it was great throwing that in there too.
Yeah, I can't
So
complain.
I give it a 4.
Oh yeah, can't go.
Yeah.
Yes, 4. All right, so I can't complain with the performances either. I think Redmayne did a fantastic job. Farrell did, he did good. He does,
Yeah.
Farrell work. For me personally, what stole the show was Don Jogler. I can't pronounce his name. Kowalski and Ezra Miller. I really think their roles,
Yeah.
their characters, their performances really stole the show. And for me, what really made Fantastical Beast,
Yeah.
Fantastic Beast, the whole story. I thought that's what really drew me into the story.
Yeah.
And again, like you were saying, the non-magic aspect.
Yes.
And like he was comical and had no idea what the heck was going on. He was just thrown in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Just seeing that, I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah, and I love that they did enough to let you know that this is still in the same world as Harry Potter. But they almost didn't even use magic. Like, they could have not even used magic enough, and it wouldn't have been like a wizard movie, because I really like that fact that they weren't over the top with magical powers and using their wands and casting their little spells. Like, they did enough of that, and maybe that has to do with, obviously, like Harry Potter, that's way in the future, so maybe by then magic and the spells and all that have advanced a lot, just like technology and all kinds of other things.
Right.
So maybe that advances as the story goes on, but I love that they really just rein back on the magic, and just kind of throwed it in there. And obviously, I mean, dude goes into a briefcase and it's a whole different world, but that's what I mean, just doing enough to get you in that Potter world, and letting you know it's the same world. And they mentioned Dumbledore and Hogwarts and stuff like that. So little things like that I really enjoyed, that they didn't go over the top with it, and it really separated itself from the whole Harry Potter line.
Right.
And just kind of created this really, like, kind of a fresh wizard movie, which I really enjoyed.
So that's it for you guys.
Yeah.
So visuals, we got a 4 on both ends. Performances, we got a 4. And then story, we got 3.
So overall,
11?
it's about 11 apiece, which, hey, that's very, very solid rating out of 15. Like, again, I always say 9 is always, like, good movie, 9. And anything above that, you're producing
It's time to
good stuff.
overachieve. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a solid movie. I like it. I think they are going to go ahead and make a part 2, which I'm okay with that. I'm very interested in them going into the American school, because they mentioned it, and I don't know about you guys, like, I don't ever remember them mentioning another wizard school in the Potter verse, because
At
maybe
Hogwarts?
I think at that point it's all about Hogwarts, and there really isn't any other schools, or maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not, I enjoy the movies, but I'm not a Potter nerd by any means. I love the movies. So I think it'd be cool to, dive into that school a little bit more and see where this new villain, where it takes them, and what Scamander has up for him next. So yeah, I'm all for it. I enjoyed the movie, and let's see what happens next.
Absolutely. All right. That's all we have. You guys take care.
Thanks, guys.
Well, hey, Film Freaks, if you guys enjoyed watching our video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up.
Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.
And go ahead and check out some of our other videos. Do it now!
What's the matter with you? Do it now.
Do it!
It's not a tumor.